Allow the two it's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. She off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Politico, this one not the off in mind. And in the touchlight every corner. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you lie down, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego die the politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. Man of the masses, my ego don't come, oh yeah. My ego diary politico, oh yeah. My ego la wamo, la moto do. My ego diary, my ego number one.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Máyégún máa wí. Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Thank you so much for joining me, no matter what the mood of Nigeria is. Ladies and gentlemen, the third biggest or largest demography of those who watches Mayegun's Diary Political more are from Nigeria. So thanks for joining me. Share the broadcast.
Mayegun lawamo do. Mayegun Diary, Ani Esuraki.
Thank you. I hope a lot of you are getting yourselves ready to register or sign up for your own 8,000 naira. I mean, jokes apart, are you guys signing up already? Abi 8,000 naira kere ni for family of 6. 8,000 kere.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Ayé ìṣúra yìí. Presido bá rú sí o. Ayé ìṣúra yìí. Gómìnà gbówó ṣe. Ayé ìṣúra yìí. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá. Ayé ìṣúra yìí. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Thank you. Share this broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun today, we are starting soon.
Ayé ìṣúra yìí. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ayé ìṣúra kì.
Thank you. Once again, good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live, and I have come again tonight with all the pieces of happenings all over Nigeria, most especially the ones that affect you directly or indirectly, you know. So tonight, we are starting with the Tinubu's subsidy, 500 billion naira for 12 million families, according to them. We don't know the criteria, but before now, Buhari has been sharing 5,000 naira to the poorest Nigerians that nobody actually have their data for over 6 or 7 years. Before Tinubu came. So what Tinubu have done right now is that he has added 3,000 naira to that 5,000 naira. And I have been seeing so much complaints, especially from some of the APC, Abobaku. Like, some of them are like, what is all this? How much is 8,000 naira? What can 8,000 naira buy? What is, you know what I mean? I'm like, 8,000, okay? For 8 solid years, APC, Ebekegbe promoted poverty, and poverty. In fact, at a point, they were glorifying poverty. If you complained about any kind of hardship in Nigeria, then cost of living, they will ask you, must you feed on such food? Why do you want such things? Why must you continue to have such things? Instead of complaining about them, why don't you go for something else? For example, we know if you buy rice for market again, or can you believe that a bucket of rice is also priced now? It used to be this Buhari didn't. For 8 years, they were asking people, then they were telling people, must you eat rice? There is local rice. Even local rice, they no see chop. Until they felt like, you know what? Rice is not even like any of their staple anymore. That was how much they glorified poverty. APC, Ebekegbe, dipped Nigerians in poverty through their policies. People lost their jobs, lost their savings, lost their livelihood. A lot lost their lives too, right? When they dipped them in that poverty, they started sharing 10,000 naira to them. That's one of the glorification of poverty under this criminal. So 8 years, Pastor Ruga was sharing 10,000 naira to the poorest Nigerians so that they can start businesses. And guess what the plan was? They wanted to lift 100 million Nigerians that they dipped in poverty. They wanted to lift them out of poverty by promising them 10,000 naira. And they had a name for it, trader money. You see some of all these, suffering and smiling ass lickers, some of them who are like, oh no, I don't feel sorry for them anyway, right? They were like, do you know what a 10,000 naira mean in the hand of that poor woman in the village? That is their template. Oh. That poor woman in the village, if you give her 10,000 naira, she can turn it around and turn it to 100,000 naira within a space of 6 months. It was a very good initiative. So that adventure cost Nigeria over 6 trillion naira. Kinimokwe, 6 trillion naira in a space of 7 years. The act of giving money, sharing money. Baba, the thing didn't reduce poverty. It escalated it, because the purpose intentionally is not to actually help the poor. It is to mock them and keep them in that poverty. And if there is any political party or group of criminals who celebrate and glorify poverty, there are no other people than APC. You have them in your families, don't you? Some of you have them as friends. At least you saw them during Buhari's time. Abi? When the economy was stumbling, they were telling you that those who looted Nigeria were the ones who make the economy hard. They were the ones who made the dollar scarce. Or they were the ones who were making it hard for him to defend the country. Oh, they were the ones who were like, they were blaming everybody. Why they were suffering. Like hardship was spreading in Nigeria. It was eating them. So you have some of them in your family now, don't you? The ones that will tell you that there's nothing Nigeria is facing that the other people in the other, part of the world are not facing. If you are talking about Boko Haram in Nigeria, you know those Olori Bruku that you probably were friends or family members with some time ago. I don't know if they are still your member of your family. You'll be complaining about the killings in Nigeria. The Ashiris will be telling you about the gun violence in America. Abi, they will say, even in America, every day, anybody can just walk in and, comparison and all that, Abi. Now, when you talk about the falling economy, the increasing poverty, and the rest of that, they will tell you, are there no poor people in the UK? Even in that your UK, there, poor people no day. It's only in Nigeria that we have poor people. The government is trying. Some of these people say they don't want work. They just want people to give them money. Do you not have some of them as your friends or family members? Or you just came across them on social media? There are all these Olori Bruku useless people like that everywhere. They are members of APC. Should we say that APC attracts the Olori Brukus who glorifies poverty, ass lickers, crumb eaters? Those who are waiting for their turn, the one we call the turn by turn Nigeria Limited. You know what I mean? You saw them under Buhari. So they are back. They want to help the poor people in today's Nigeria with $10 every month. There is no clear definition of how you are going to access that or who is going to access that. Nothing. Just a pronouncement. They will soon begin to bring the APC form to your communities. Okay? If you're not APC, you won't be offered. And then is an a conduit pipe job for the boys. Now, billion, you go to here. But Baba, in this hardship, the National Assembly are getting 70 billion. Do you know how much it's going to touch the hand of each lawmaker when they divide that money? Let me explain this to you. Tinubu said the subsidy they removed has made life harder for a lot of you, okay? To the point that some businesses are already cutting, they are already sacking people. Others are offering half salary. Others are offering work from home. Others are even offering some selected days as the days you'll be working and they will pay for. All of these adjustments are going on, right? But so many of you who don't even get job, Abi, that exists in their economy, you are feeling the heat more. People where they dash you money, they know they dash money again. You know why now, Abi? All those nice guys and here and there, they are no longer what they used to be, Abi. All the short areas where you kind of have your own in your joblessness, so you have your own way of hustling here and there. Among those who had jobs or had businesses, everybody is cutting down now. A lot of people are watching, they are looking at their cars, and they will prefer to call those they normally go and spend the weekends with. All these adjustments, Kolu said, they have figured out that even though over 140 million Nigerians are living in, not just in poverty, extreme poverty. Nigeria, you see the population of Nigeria as it is, the data shows that over 80% of Nigerians are poor, like poor. But out of them, 140 million of them, they are in like extreme multi-dimensional poverty, kind of. And it's getting worse, if you will say. So, if they have 140 million and they are picking 12 million families, which is roughly put at maybe 70 million, that's like half of the people living in extreme poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think 8,000 naira can actually procure and help in the life of 6 people in a household who are receiving government support of $10? Insincere, let's just be sincere, Abi. Some are saying, but all are in bad. Okay. Then why they complain? When we have seen some of these APC, Egbeke guys, like, what's they go take that one by? Cassava Gari or Ewa. Kolu declared state of emergency on food, and he ordered that grains should be released from the silo. Who are those who are going to receive these grains? Who are those who are going to distribute them? Who are those who are going to be the beneficiaries, like end beneficiaries? Kolu also announced that he has made provision for 500,000 acres of land, hectares of land. That's massive. No detail is given. And they said this 500,000 hectares of land will be allocated to the young people in Nigeria who want to go into farming. So they'll give you money. You go into farming, they'll give you land. Now the question is, whose land is Kolu allocating? And which part of Nigeria are these 500,000 hectares of land coming from? When did they allocate the land? I mean, we would love to know, Abi, just like the 8,000 naira from the 500 billion, okay? So we would love to know whose land. But there is an explanation I almost missed, right? 8,000 naira for your household, okay? Anywhere that one feel block, any kind of a poverty that one feel fight, manage them. But it is coming from the 500 billion naira World Bank loan, okay? Now, that's not the only money they took. They took up to 819 billion naira. It's a loan request they've made in the 2023 budget, okay? Now, because of the noise of subsidies, this subsidy, that, that's why Tinubu now wrote the National Assembly and said, I need 500 billion from that. As he was asking for 500 billion, which when they start dividing it, we don't know how they arrived at 8,000 naira. We don't know how they arrived at 12 million people or household. They just flung the figures out there to make it look massive. There is no data, real data to back it up. You can't ask them to provide or produce that 12 million household and their data. They can't produce them. Do you understand? For 6 or 7 years, Buhari's government said they have been giving that same 5,000 naira to 10 million household. What Tinubu did is that Tinubu told the National Assembly, I want to give 8,000 naira to poorest Nigerians. And this is just coming from Buhari's 5,000 naira to 10 million household. Remember. So Tinubu is going to give 8,000, extra 3,000, and extra 3,000 naira, and extra 2 million household. Just numbers, just throw it out there. 12 million household and 8,000 naira and 500 billion naira. There is no details behind that. If he is going to be asking for the 500 billion every month for the next 6 months, which will make it 3 trillion naira in 6 months, that is exactly 90% of what they actually budgeted for subsidy in 2023 budget. 4.5 trillion naira is what Buhari budgeted for subsidy in 2023 budget. Now, what is not clear about Tinubu's 500 billion is that is he going to be taking that 500 billion every month in order to make sure that you collect your 80,000 naira for the next 6 months? That's exactly, I mean, that's what he said. Okay, so I don't know how they arrive at that. 8,000 naira to 12 million household, 500 billion to be shared by them all. So as he was making that request from the National Assembly, they now told him, what about us? We are also suffering. There is hardship in Nigeria. We need to settle down. We need something to settle down, to settle our body down. That's how the total number of 469 people, senators and reps. That's how they cornered 70 billion. Do you know how much will touch each of them's hand when they divide that money among themselves? That's 70 billion. Each of them will collect 124 million 245 or so thousand naira. Listen to me again. As they are giving you your own share of 8,000 naira, your family, household, okay? Each senator and rep, they are going to be collecting 124 million or thereabouts. Each of them, whether they are from Labour Party, they are from Abeg, they are from PDP, they are from APC, all of them, 469 of them, because all of you needed money for poor people, they had to take their cut. Then Nigeria being a National Judicial Council, they also get a cut. 35 billion naira for the judges in Nigeria, for the National Judicial Council. People have already seen that as the direct bribe. You know what they call the authority stealing? Authority stealing, fella. This is what authority stealing mean. Allocation for the NJC. Allocation, they know you add 1, 2, 3 or so more, just make it look legit. A Ministry of Agriculture, we wanted to go and pay people affected by flooding. Ministry of Works, we wanted to go and look around for any damaged bridges that you can fix. So we need all this money. And that's how Tinubu will be taking out nearly 800 billion naira first cash out. And he said he declared state of emergency on food in Nigeria. I'm coming to that. But yeah, is how Dele Alake, Abidele Alakori put it out. We'll listen. First part.
The country. As a hands-on leader who follows developments across the country every day, the president is not unmindful of the rising cost of food and how it affects the citizens. While availability is not a problem, affordability has been a major issue to many Nigerians in all parts of the country. This has led to a significant drop in demand, thereby undermining the viability of the entire agriculture and food value chain. Accordingly, and in line with this administration's position on ensuring that the most vulnerable are supported, the President has declared with immediate effect the following actions. 1, a state of emergency on food security. 2, that all matters pertaining to food and water availability and affordability as essential livelihood items be included within the purview of the National Security Council. Now, as a direct and immediate response to this crisis, a number of initiatives will be deployed in the coming weeks to reverse this inflationary trend and guarantee future uninterrupted supplies of affordable foods to ordinary Nigerians. As with most emergencies, there are immediate, medium, and long-term interventions and solutions. In the immediate term, this government intends to deploy some savings from the fuel subsidy removal into the agricultural sector, focusing on revamping the agri sector. In an earlier meeting today with the agri stakeholders, we drafted a memorandum of partnership between the government and the individual stakeholders' representatives that encompasses the decisions taken and actions proposed from our engagements. The immediate intervention strategies are as follows. 1, we will immediately release fertilizers and grains to farmers and households to mitigate the effects of the subsidy removal. 2, there will be an urgent synergy between the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Water Resources to ensure adequate irrigation of farmlands and to guarantee that food is produced all year round. As a country, Mr. President has made it clear that we can no longer be comfortable with seasonal farming. We can no longer afford to have farming downtimes. We shall create and support a national commodity exchange board that will review and continuously assess food prices as well as maintain strategic food reserve that will be used as price stabilization mechanism for critical grains and other food items. Through this board, government will moderate spikes and dips in food prices. To achieve this, therefore, we have the following stakeholders on board to support the intervention effort of President Tinubu: the National Commodity Exchange, seed companies, National Seed Council and Research Institutes, NIRSAL Microfinance Bank, Food Processing / Agri Processing Associations, private sector holders and prime anchors, smallholder farmers, crop associations, and fertilizer producers, blenders, and suppliers associations, just to mention a few. We will engage a security architecture to protect the farms and the farmers so that farmers can return to the farmlands without fear of attacks. The CBN will continue to play a major role of funding the agricultural value chain. 6, activation of land banks. There is currently 500,000 hectares of already mapped land that will be used to increase availability of arable land for farming, which will immediately impact food output. Mechanization and land clearing. The government will also collaborate with mechanization companies to clear more forests and make them available for farming. 7, river basins. There are currently 11 river basins that will ensure planting of crops during the dry season with irrigation schemes that will guarantee continuous farming production all year round to stem the seasonal glut and scarcity that we usually experience. Number
8. Just wait. So hear that, Abi. First, everything is saying there, consider them as word salads, just lies. I have my reason for telling you all of this, so lies. They sounded good, like, yeah, okay, they want to set up this. Okay, I'll explain them to you in layman terms, okay? So, according to Daily Alakori, Tinubu had now upgraded. First, he has declared state of emergency on food in Nigeria. Now, he has upgraded them, the issue of food. He has upgraded that to the state of National Security Council. So, the level of hunger that they have acknowledged is that it requires the level of attention they give to security and few other serious conversation like that. National security, that's the food. Then in that announcement, Daily Alakori said that Tinubu has ordered, well, it's going to start and set up a sort of pricing or monitoring board. The people that will be determining how much commodities should cost in Nigeria. Sure, you get. Okay. Now, quickly, that's exactly what they are doing with fuel subsidy. Okay. So they are like, oh, we can't produce the oil. We can't refine the oil. But if you can go and buy the oil and bring it to us, we'll buy it from you. Or we can buy the difference from you. Like, instead of you selling it for so price, we can ask you to sell it for so price and give you the difference. Subsidy kind of, right? That is what Dele Alakori is trying to read out in there, because I can't buy my goods, right, at a certain price, and another board will tell me I should sell it at this so price. It doesn't work that way. Sure, you know, and they know that. But nevertheless, word salad, we're going to set up a board, National Kiniko Pricing Board, Monitoring Board. They have something like that in Nigeria, but it never works, and it will never work. You don't determine how much people will sell their stuff when you have no real money that you gave to them, when you're not the one who gave them the money for their businesses. It's not state-owned businesses, right? Then Dele Alakori said, Tinubu has ordered that they should release some grains to some households. Like I kind of rhetorically asked the other time, like, who are those who are going to receive the grains? And who are those who they will give the grains to? Are they going to be given to them for free as poor people? And what will qualify you as poor people to access such grains? You know what I mean? But there is no clarity. It's all bobo. Bo. When Buhari came to government in 2015, he made similar announcements. Those ones I can remember that are so similar to what this Tinubu is doing. And you know how that ended up? When Buhari came in, first he announced that to fight Boko Haram, he was relocating the Nigeria operation headquarters, Nigerian Army operation headquarters, to the war front in Borno. They dressed him up to look like he was going there to go and crush the Boko Haram and the rest. Remember that time, eh? And at the end of the day, we know how that panned out, Abi. First week or first month of Buhari, he announced Babashir Lawal as the secretary to the government of Nigeria, Abi. And in the office of Babashir Lawal, they put in the rehabilitation, the resettlement, Abi, the relocation, Abi, whatever, of the victims of Boko Haram back to their different communities, build houses for them, get them to say, you know what I mean? That money is what later became part of that Babashir Lawal's sack, that, you know, the grass cutter using 242 million naira to cut grass around the IDP camps because of snakes. In that same period, Buhari opened, he came out and he announced that they should release a certain amount of grains from Nigeria silos. When they released the grains, they said it came to a total of 214 trucks. 214 trucks. That's how much, you know, those 16-tire trailers. 214 of them loaded grains from Nigeria silos. En route to the NEMA location, National Emergency Management Agency. 150 trucks disappeared. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not 150 bags of grains. 150 trucks disappeared. Only only 64 made it to their destination. And it became a big news then, remember? Only for them to tell us later that the 150 truck of grain that Buhari released to go and they said that money, they said it was meant to be given to the people in IDP camp, the victims of the people displaced by terrorism. 150 trucks disappeared. They later found them at a warehouse. The grains, they found them at a warehouse in Kano. They've rebagged them. They've rebagged them into different names, and they're already selling them in Kano. That was under Buhari, the first 2-3 months of Buhari, in case if you have forgotten. May I remind you more, because Tinubu is going to do the same soon. They said the first announcement was to make sure that to fight hunger. Buhari was going to give 5,000 naira to the poorest Nigerians. That was when they opened the shop for Shadia. Even though Pastor Ruga actually started it, by the way. It was Pastor Ruga that started it. All of this were like, they are doing something for the poor and the red. Now today they have left you poorer. No be so. So Tinubu is now announcing that In its own way, they have also allocated lands. And you know, when the issue of land comes up, let us be honest, gone are the days when governments would normally take your land and say, government want to use the land for this, this, and that, and they will pay you small tertiary compensation, and you forget it. Anybody will know Tinubu very well. And the issue of land, especially in that Lagos state, the people of Etiosa, especially all of you who are in that Etiosa, all those axes, with Tinubu, you will be alarmed when they say 500,000 hectares of your land have been mapped. No detail. Where and where? For 8 solid years. One of the reasons why Nigeria remains so divided and likely never going to come united was the issue of trying to use the state power, the federal government power, to take people's land in order to placate Fulani terrorists that they claim that they are killing people because people don't want to give them their lands. Now we know that it's not actually our land they need. It's resources under the ground, under the land, and they are ready to wipe us out of those lands. So for 8 years that we fought Buhari and his jihadist people, now Tinubu will come the map land, Abi. They won't give land for farming, to give land to youths and the rest, and you think it's not a bobo. In today's Nigeria, anybody will wake up and say, I am taking the land for national clinic or for farming. In Nigeria, that's when you will know that they have no plan of anything. But that one was just like an add-on, okay? So that they will say, come and take money, go and start farm. Go and start farming. So that you can go into food production, blah, 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 blah. More we heard the other parts. They're all lies, oh. That's how we will trash them. Then we then go into the real thing. Right? Here.
Number 8. The government will deploy concessionary capital flow funding to the sector, especially towards fertilizer, processing, mechanization, seeds, chemicals, equipment, feed, labor, etc. The concessionary funds will ensure food is always available and affordable, thereby having a direct impact on Nigeria's Human Capital Index, HCI. This administration is focused on ensuring the HCI numbers, which currently ranks as the 3rd lowest in the world, are improved for increased productivity. 9. The cost of transporting agricultural products has been a major challenge due to permits, toll gates, and other sundry costs. When the cost of moving farm produce is significantly impacted, it will immediately be passed to the consumers, which will affect the price of food. The government will explore other means of transportation, including rail and water transportation, to reduce freight costs and in turn impact the food prices downwards. As for storage, existing warehouses and tanks will be revamped to cut waste and ensure efficient preservation of food items. 10. The government will increase revenue from food and agricultural exports. As we ensure there is sufficient affordable food for the populace, we will concurrently work on stimulating the export capacity of the agri sector. 11. Trade facilitation. Transportation, storage, and export will be improved by working with the Nigerian customs that has assured us that the bottlenecks experienced in exporting and importing food items, as well as intra-city transportation through tolling, will be removed. 12. The government will change the way we have been doing livestock business, away from the archaic method to the modern way acceptable worldwide. We will establish ranches in collaboration with state government, and the federal government will pay for the land. These are some of the immediate interventions this government will put in place to tackle this food crisis. Principally, one of the major positive outcomes of these interventions will be a massive boost in employment and job creation. Indeed, agriculture already accounts for about 35.21% of employment in Nigeria, the figures of 2021. The target is to make this figure rise significantly in the long term. President Tinubu's mandate to create jobs for our teeming youth population will be achieved with between 5 to 10 million more jobs created within the value chain, working with the current 500,000 hectares of arable land and the several hundreds of thousands more farmlands to be developed in the medium term. In closing, therefore, this administration understands that food and water are the bedrock of survival, and therefore is calling on all Nigerians to partner with us in ensuring the success of this strategic intervention.
We will work with you to build a Nigeria that is not corrupt. I bring you a message of hope.
We are going to spend a lot of resources on education.
It could be annoying, right? And I think calling him Dele Alakori is not really wrong. You see all the nonsense he read there, right? I told you they are all lies. But at the same time, there are also hidden coded messages, okay, that are indirectly way of even exposing the real intention apart from what they are reading out. Let's pick them one after the other. When he said number 8, and he said the government is doing a lot to reduce the cost of transportation of farm produce. All right. And they are looking into maybe building rails, rail to farms. These are the Olori Burukus that simple economic theory they couldn't do. But when they fail in that simple one, they are promising you something that you can wait till you die. It will never happen. What are the simple ones? One primary reason why the cost of food is mostly high is cost of transportation. And why is the cost of transportation high? Because the cost of liter of fuel. Now, a driver will charge his own clients, right? He will charge his own passengers based on how much he paid for his gas. And when you charge your passengers, they too would have to charge their own customers the cost of the goods, the cost of the service, the cost of transportation. Now, if you want to cut down the cost of food crisis or whatever in Nigeria, or food transportation in Nigeria, isn't it the first thing to do is not to fix your refinery? Produce your own oil locally? So the second reason why a lot of people, the cost of food, apart from transportation, is storage. I have been hearing about the wastage that comes from the food harvest in Nigeria because of poor storage system. Now, a responsible government, ordinarily, would be what? Would be investing in that, you will say, other than just the talk, 8 years of APC, there was nothing like that. So everybody was on their own. Then Dele Alakori moved further, talking about food exports. Then he moved on. He talked about government of Nigeria will build ranches. Abeg back door. Bring in Ruga. Bring in your grazing route and all the nonsense. Cattle colony. Well, you are welcome to the party. That's part of this why you know that Tinubu is what? Is lying. Tinubu knows he will not dare. No trick. Buhari wanted to use the federal government gazette trick to take people's lands. It didn't work. They used different campaign, intimidation, threats. So Tinubu want to come and take 500,000 hectares of land. For what? On the one part, they said they want to give it to the youth, jobless youth, to go into farming. Abi? On the other hand, the same 500,000 hectares of land they mentioned, they said they have mapped the place all over Nigeria. They want to buy it from you. They will pay you. Then they will open ranches. For who? You are welcome to the party. Tinubu. As mad as Buhari was, as daring as he was, he met his march across Nigeria because everyone could see through the real agenda. So you won't come, Anyway, Dele Alakori mentioned that. Whose money are they going to use to buy the land? Your money. Who are those who are going to own the land? Themselves. If you ever think that they are actually going to give any land to any of you, you are joking. You will work there as their serfs, as their slaves, as it should be. This is them. This is their turn. Mapping where they can map and give them to themselves. At the end of the day, they will ask you, why can't you go and grow your own food if you are waiting for whatever they are producing from those places? His friends, local and foreign, they've mapped everywhere they wanted to own in Nigeria, including Yoruba land. And they want to smuggle that through their whatever, creating and helping food supply in Nigeria. When one of the reasons why food production in Nigeria died, a violent death, is because of the Fulani terrorism that has been killing and chasing the farmers out of their farms across Nigeria, not just in northern Nigeria, including southern Nigeria. So yeah, I appreciate the fact that they said they are going to protect the farmers. Buhari invested over 5 trillion naira on his own bogus agriculture agenda. He shut the borders in Nigeria. Well, he shut the southern border and opened the northern border for the terrorists. That's what happened. All because Buhari said he wanted to improve agriculture in Nigeria. How did that go? Half of all the farms have been completely taken over by the terrorists. When the produce came out, the terrorists were harvesting them. The farmers that Nigeria gave money to, fertilizer to, in northern Nigeria, they ended up in the custody of the terrorists. So they started working as their own way of paying their taxes to the terrorists. They are harvesting everything Nigeria bought. They are giving them to the terrorists. Under the Nigeria government, everything perished under Buhari. Security, that's what I mean. Security. But the likes of Tinubu and gang, let them kind of flow and enjoy the ride. And for those who are complaining, I'm going to advise you to please watch it, okay? To some people, it is not really that bad. With 8,000 naira, sure. What do you call it? You should be able to kind of, that shouldn't be so much of a complaint, right? Anyway, going forward, I'm coming back to that too. So we heard that, in fact, hang on. I want to hear this first. Kuka, Bishop Kuka. Yes. Is that Kuka?
Do we resemble a democracy? Do we work like a democracy? Do we talk like a democracy? Because the very fact that up till now, months after our elections and after swearing in a president, we still don't know who is going to be the president of Nigeria until the Supreme Court is over. Very much akin to the introduction of the video assistant referee in football, in which case we are like a man who has scored a goal. But we have to wait for the referee to go to VAR and confirm whether it was a goal or not a goal. It's not evident. It is a symptom of how modest our claim should be. Because we very often confuse the very fact that we're in a civilian administration with the notions of being in a democracy. That if we cannot fix our electoral process, which is the defining law for how to choose leaders in a democracy, then we must be modest in our saying that we're in a democracy. We have seen the worst face of corruption in Nigeria. Femi Falana, my friend here, will speak about that because he's published a series of articles, talking about what happened under the Buhari administration. They were not the ones who caused corruption, but I think in the last administration we saw the ugliest face of corruption in many, whether in moral terms, financial terms, or other terms. And I'll mention that before I close. We have a country that we are now sharing with bandits. Our very sovereignty, which is guaranteed in the Constitution, is under assault because we have non-state actors, whether you call them bandits or Boko Haram. It is that the entire territorial integrity of the nation is at stake. Because nobody is excited now about being a Nigerian. Whether you are president, whether you are senator, no matter who you are, everybody is working with his, with bated breath, because we don't know. We are literally now being held hostages, by people that are a threat to the very existence of our democracy and our country. Our judiciary is in a crisis of perception, but also based on the experiences that Nigerians have had. It will not be surprising if ordinary Nigerians think that the only thing the Supreme Court does is to look at election petitions. Because we're looking up to the Supreme Court to help extend the frontiers of democracy and human freedoms. But very often, those institutions with Nigerians perceive that they've now become so severely, compromised. That has
lunatics have taken over asylum. There is no reason for anybody to cry over the spilled milk. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen is, because this man mentioned Supreme Court, so sure you get. I want you to know that today, from what we heard, the PARM, one of those challenging Tinubu's election, they have started the process of submitting their own, closing address or written address. They have a name for it, written address. That is when they are going to sort of, everything you have heard from both sides, they will do all the argument in one sentence written, and one written address. And then the judges will say, we are going to give our judgment on so day. So according to the timetable you have on your screen, the part that has been completed or concluded in their presidential election petition tribunal. So on the 17th of July, it is expected that the respondents' addresses will last for 10 days or nearly. Then the petitioner's address, which is Peter Obi, Atiku, and that, right? That one will come up. The respondent's address, like INEC or Tinubu, I don't know which one is first or second. Anyway, will be there, and that will be the 1st of August. Now, after these dates, you can begin to count down to when is likely going to be the judgment. The last day is put at the 16th of September, so which is by their law will be 180 180 days, which is allowed by their law. And from other further information as well, they said that the Supreme Court, after this, will have 2 months to review the judgment of the tribunal, all right, and give their own judgment within 2 months. So in all of this, we expect that this whole thing will end latest by December 2023, before December or by December, according to those who put together this detail. And the consequences today, for those who are still lying to themselves, in case some of you don't know how this actually works, okay? When Tinubu and his gang, when they started the abracadabra announcement on the exchange rates, let me remind you what they said. According to the new guy they announced as your central bank acting governor, you've not heard from him a lot. Meanwhile, Emefiele has been charged to court. Okay, they charged him to court for money laundering terrorism and then economic sabotage or something like that. So the court said they must charge him within a week or let him go. Now they charge him to court, and the court has said that his arrest is invalid or something like invalid or illegal. Now the court has told the DSS to let Emefiele leave now. But that's a story for another time anyway. Well, here is the first one. Your new central bank governor, right? Who you probably don't know. I don't even know him, but I remember his face, by the way. Like, I feel like I'm seeing his face right now. But this guy came out and they said their own policy idea of how to end multiple exchange rates in Nigeria is that they are now making it a free-for-all. Let the market forces determine what the exchange rate will be. Whatever that even means in economics. I'm not an economist, right? I'm a layman who actually read a bit about economics as well. This doesn't make any sense. In economics, right, they say economy operates based on demand and supply. Here you get. So if I'm making a demand, and you don't have some kind of supply, so what happens is that the price will go up if the demand is more than supply. But if you have more supply than demand, the price will go down. That's how it works, Abi. But you don't treat exchange rates that people actually use this in trade like that, in my own opinion. No. I believe that when it comes to, currency versus currency in trade, right? The strength of that currency will determine the value of what trade they represent. For example, Naira as a value, right? A currency that represents a country of the most populous black nation on earth, 200 million people, has no real value, no real nothing to back it up. Initially, for years, Nigeria Naira was backed with Nigeria crude oil. Last 8 years has skeletoned all of that. It has shown that your Naira has become vulnerable to the point that everywhere they go to borrow money, they have to kind of weigh the Naira, and they found that there's nothing behind it. Now you have these new economists who are coming to rescue Nigeria, the professionals, those who know what they are doing. So they came with the idea. They said, in order to reduce or remove all multiple exchange rates, what happened is that we'll just let the market decide that, which means anywhere where you see dollar, buy them. Anywhere where you see pound sterling, buy them. But what happened is they are going to pump some dollars or currency into the banks. So their own way is that, you know what, we can no longer say the CBN exchange rate is 450. The black market exchange rate is 750 to $1. Now, what we have now is that we are going to move our exchange rate to 610 Naira. That's the official rate in Nigeria. This new economist, 610 Naira. But we are going to put some dollars in some banks so that when people, we can then tell people to go there at the rate of 6. Maybe we can now tell the banks how much they must sell the dollars or the forex by adding 1 Naira or 2 Naira or 50 kobo. So if they give it to them at 610 Naira, the banks are expected to sell them to you at 610, 11 Naira or 610 Naira, 50 kobo. So that's how they want to determine. But what they don't understand is that with the level of the gap that the corruption under Buhari has created, Nigeria has no real reserve anymore that is so good enough, to meet up the volume of demand. I will explain that to you. The volume of demand for dollars will continue to rise since the production in Nigeria continue to depreciate. Nigeria depends more on importing most of what they need. And if you want to buy anything from out there, the major exchange is the dollars. So when you have your Naira, you must be ready to buy the dollars at whatever rate anybody with that dollar want to sell them. Now, if you are so desperate, there's possibility that you will have to pay more. So Nigeria has nothing to back it. So when the volume of demand is there, you must be a country, like for example, to crash dollar and Naira using that technique, not production. Using technique of pumping money into it means you must at least have bulk of dollars on a steady supply. For example, you must be able to produce or provide volume of, for example, a country like Nigeria, let's say $10 every month, $10 billion cash every month for traders in Nigeria. If you have that much cash available as a government, you can determine, in fact, you can sway how much a dollar should go for. But when would you do that? When the value of dollar you have, okay, is equivalent to the naira that you also have. I will explain that to you. Like, if I have $1 billion, if Nigeria have $1 billion, these bankers, these criminals, they believe that $1 billion makes sense at the rate of 700 naira. That's 700 billion naira. Abi? But if they use their own bank rate, 450 naira, that would be like 450 billion. So that to them, it's now up to them to say their own 1 billion is going to be valued at 450 billion naira, $1 billion, or it's going to be valued at 700 billion naira. In all, remember, wherever they get the dollars from, right, came from the value of something they sold for that value of dollars. So it's now up to them if they want to devalue that dollar they have by meeting up the supply or the demand in order for them to determine how much exchange rate should be. And it is like a con man way of trying to solve a problem. It won't last. Like I said, to maintain such without any real production to back it, without investing so much in like your productions, your production or manufacturing or whatever, creating jobs, pumping that money into them and give it a stretch of a time for that return to come back and fill in that gap economically is a win-win. There are jobs, no debt. You know what I mean? But rather, they would rather just tell you that they are waiting for some dollars. So because of that, anybody can go and buy dollars wherever they want. Go and change your money wherever you want. At some certain time, it will crash and come down. Anyway, it is not. What they are not telling you is that when they're experimenting with your life like that, there are actually lives involved. Most times when we talk about dollars, this, naira, pounds, that, this and that, we tend to, we talk more about businessmen, which is the first part, right? There are actually Nigerians whose lifelines, depends on these exchanges, exchange rate and all that. There are Nigerians who are schooling abroad. No big government send them, because of the poor educational system in Nigeria, right? They moved abroad. Now you see this exchange fluctuating exchange rate. When Kolu came in, I didn't know this before, even under Buhari. They said, if you want to study abroad as Nigerian, they have a place where you can make some level of application. Okay. For example, if they are exchanging pound sterling, okay, if I want to sell pounds now, okay, I'll sell it for, if I want to, sell, I'll sell it for maybe 1,050 naira now. But let's go back. Under Buhari, let's say a pound sterling was 700 naira to 1 pound, right? So as a student abroad, they said they have this array. I don't know, you tell me if it is true or not, because I don't know if it is public or now for some people we know people inside their criminal government too. They said as a student abroad, there is a form you will pick. They will give you a different exchange rate by the Central Bank of Nigeria. It's like a student discount. You have naira. You are not selling pounds. You have naira. You want to buy pounds. So let's say they are selling a pound sterling for 800 naira to 1 pound. If you want to buy that pounds with your naira, you may be buying that pounds for 820 naira or 830 naira. Extra 30 naira to buy the pounds, okay? But as a student, you can get it for as low as 600 naira or 400 naira or 500 naira, something like that. So when Tinubu came in, they removed all of that. In case if you don't know, they removed all of that. It was, in fact, they say it was Buhari who would reduce your spending limits on your card and all that. No, I'm talking about students now, whose life is affected. A lot of them, they would have to drop out. Honestly, it's the same way they announced student loan for you in Nigeria. And the majority of you are already struggling through school. You are going to face over 200%, tuition increase in these coming days now. and they will tell you to go and take student loan. Now, when you won't go apply for that student loan, it go come clear for your eyes, say they don't scam you. But they didn't just scam you by lying to you. They took away, they would have taken away something that you were building on before, your education. That's what they're doing right now. So the exchange rate has now kind of affected almost everything. Okay? Almost everything. Flight tickets, travel and all of that, And you can easily tell the significant difference this is making in the lives of ordinary folks who just want to run their legitimate businesses, go here and there, and pay their taxes and go home. These guys' policies are making it even harder and harder for a lot of you to make a legitimate living. And that's how it's going to be. Policy announcement. They will just make the announcement and they will tell you, with time, it will take shape. With time, it will calm down. Give it some time. Everything will still come back. When it doesn't, they will blame you and say, even some of you, self, you are the problem of this country. To fly from Nigeria, Lagos to London now. Same country from on the left. If you want to go to London, it will cost you, this is in US dollars, okay? So it will cost you over 1.5 million, 1.6 million naira to fly from Nigeria, Lagos, right? And it's about 6 hours, 34 minutes flight. Normally, sure you get. But if you go to Cotonou, the same London from Benin Republic, which is also like extra 1 hour, 7 hours, 15 or so minutes, is the distance between Benin Republic and London. See the difference? Same day flight, sure you get, but different departure. That is what it means to be living in Nigeria today. A lot of you will kind of prefer to walk around on how to manage and, but a lot as well are kind of grounding, codedly. Like, man, I shall pray, you shall favor me and my family. I want you to go favor me and my family gang. I hope this is favoring you and your family. Not fly to, now people will get money, they go fly, Abi. Some people took Marwa in their solidarity for hoping for the renewed hope in Nigeria. They took Marwa from Lagos straight to Abuja to go and show solidarity to Kolu when they got to Abuja. Now the reporters, where they see them, they wonder about, call them, say, come, what happened? You okay? They said they are stranded. How can you be stranded? You've got Marwa. You've got tricycle. What are you doing here? They said they came and they announced that they were coming to Abuja to come and show of solidarity to Kolu. That because Kolu is the president, right? So they, during Buhari's time, one guy said he would drink the drainage water if Buhari won the election in 2015. So when Buhari won, they asked him to go and drink the drainage, the gutter water, right? Some sewage water, yeah? And he delved into it and he drank it. They started having medical problems. I think he died. I don't know. Did he die? That guy who was in our mother, I think he died. So he had complication later and he started complaining that Buhari and APC abandoned him. Nobody checked on him. There was this guy too who trekked from Lagos to Abuja. Abina from Sokoto to Daura. You shall remember that guy who trekked from Lagos to Abuja because of Buhari in 2015. The guy ended up with the suffering, what they call the arthritis of early age. Swollen legs, abandoned. It was when he was complaining, that we heard. I like what happened now. Maybe you became famous for showing that you are very strong and you walked so 100 or 1,000 of kilometers to go and show solidarity only for you to get there and nobody. But in your own case, you even saw Buhari. They took you to his campaign headquarters and took pictures. Did they not take care of you? He said, no, I got stranded. I had to beg for money to return to Lagos. I will never do that in my life again. When the guy came back and he said he regretted for trekking for Buhari. Regret Loman last year. Same with this, my brothers and sisters, from God knows where. But they shall left from Lagos. This Agbalagba, look at them. They went to Abuja. They were all of that dangerous road where you have all those terrorists. They escaped all of that in this Keke Marua. Days on the road. So much risk. And they said they are sleeping in parks in Abuja. That was where the journalists saw them. They are stranded. Because when they got to Abuja, that was when Kolu removed subsidy. They budget to Abuja that if they get to Abuja and they become celebrity, people start giving them gifts. Maybe they will take pictures with Tinubu and have other people, APC people. And they will say, okay, we are from Lagos, we are going back home. And people will kind of dash them money, like being in the mood of new. But you know, say for those who have been in Abuja, they said, you wouldn't even feel like these APC people believe that they are in government or they just won an election. That the whole place was just like, everyone was just like, so like just existing for existing's sake. Sure you get. There's nothing like, oh, there's new government in town. Look at all these new guys. Look at this new place. Look at that one that is bubbling. And, go to this area. Now, APC, Lagos people, they there. Live, nothing. Everybody, they hustle for. Some are sleeping under bridges. Some are sleeping inside markets, shopping malls. Some are sleeping inside, schools. I'm not joking, no. There are many who go Abuja. Some people actually packed their bags and left to Abuja when they announced, when they sworn Tinubu in. When they got to Abuja, the story is like, the city is not in the mood for them. If I am lying, tell me. Tell me, say, you are not in Abuja. Abuja is bubbling with APC. No. It's not bubbling. Don't lie to yourself. Come on. Sure you get. So these elect bonds traveled to Abuja in Keke Marua. And when they got to Abuja, maybe after sleeping there in a day or two, they discovered that the money where they their pocket, no if you buy them 5 liters of petrol that will carry them to Gwagwalada, not to talk of a Suleja, not to talk of a carry them to Niger State or any other places where you go carry them go. 5-liter petrol. They will also need to eat. That's when they spoke to the media. Help us. Is it all right if we take your pictures to show people at home, say you are stranded in Abuja? Please, we regret coming here. Nobody has come to see us. Maybe if people see this video, now, they will call them. I'm not sure if they are still in Abuja. This was yesterday. And they were lamenting terribly of being kind of ignored. And they were just there to celebrate Kolu and all of that stuff. And now they are stranded. Some people were telling them, no, you cannot be stranded. There are some guys there who can pay for those Keke Marua. Here you get. They will buy the Keke from you. Go and enter Ekenedile Shuku, Abi Aganambo to Lagos. When you get to Lagos, go and figure out your life. Some people, Nigerians are not that nice anyway. Everybody just say, look for opportunity to shock everybody. Like, hold on, no leave amo. Oh yeah, pressing neck very well. People are not so much pitying them because they went to Abuja for APC. So they're telling them to sell their Keke Marua. Some people are saying that if not because, I don't know if 50,000 is okay for 3 of you to carry you to Lagos. I can come and carry the 3 Keke Marua for 50,000. Others are saying sell 2 so that 2 of you can enter bus. 1 can drive Keke Marua. 1 can enter bus. 2 of you can enter Keke Marua. Others are saying sell 2 Keke Marua. Sell the 2 of them in Abuja. Carry 1 back to Lagos. 3 of you are driver anyway. You'll be exchanging the trip. Nobody is trying to tell them how to get to us Old Rock. I actually want them to. Because I can't imagine what it is like for that grown-up man. Because you know what happened? When they got to Abuja, life changed so fast. Tinubu removed subsidy. Petrol pump price up. Food price up. Hotel room up. What do you call it? Yeah, everything up. Even for them to say, okay, Mo will leave our keke for Abuja, find our way to Lagos. If you went to Abuja, for example, that time on the 28th of May, if you flew into Abuja on Dana here, Abia PC, at the rate of 35,000 naira, or 40,000 naira Lagos to Abuja. By the time you are going to return the following afternoon, when Kolu removes subsidy, that 35,000 naira flight that you took to Abuja, now back to Lagos, don't change to 70,000 naira times 2. And you are lucky because it just happened that time. The following day, don't cross 100,000 naira. Now people are booking to and fro Abuja, 100,000, 150,000 naira. For a place where we say that in 2015, they used to book that for 10,000, 12,000 naira. Abuja, Lagos, Akure, Lagos, Akure, Abuja, Imo, Owerri, Abuja, Enugu, Abuja. 12,000, 14,000 naira. The inflation has increased to the over times 10. 1,000% increase. I just thought I should remind you. So these are the consequences. And where economy is like that, and they are not intention, there's nothing to really back it up. Nothing concrete. It's all talk. So I hope this guy meet, they meet their helper. And anybody will see them for Abuja, seriously, they are stranded. And it's not funny. Okay? The man that, I think one of the things that actually got them to believe, or some of you to believe that Kolu has something for you, I think it's this video. You remember when they asked Kolu that, Kolu, tell us how you are going to revive this economy. Buhari don't ruin this economy. You know what Tinubu said? He said,
I don't want to sit here and reveal all my strategy. I am the first speaker among the three of us running. So they will spy on me. So you will have a limited answer here today. Another day you can bring me back. But that's part of what I do.
They will spy on me. Okay, Alaye, oh yeah. You are now in charge, Abi. All that thing where they want spy from you. They show the people, maybe people will see how that's going to change their life. Unfortunately, it won't, right? Meanwhile, this one is just like a closure, right? And that is, remember that on social media, there's something that social media has done. And it is very good, even though a lot of people who are very much averse or people who don't like change. A lot of us don't like change. Change is not easy. They ask you to change from your way of life right now to something else. It will take time. So it's not easy to change. Social media has given us the wonderful opportunity, especially this generation, right, to actually be able to differentiate fact from fiction through concrete, research and evidence and education, things that are really there now. Social media has done that, and at the same time, it has also sort of it has exposed so many myths, so many mysteries, things that we were told must never be questioned. I'll give you examples. The other day, I was on social media, or I was on Twitter, and there was this guy who was asking people that he doesn't believe there is anything called juju or jazz or voodoo or witchcraft, all those things. And trust Nigerians. We are raised with so much superstition anyway. Okay? Hey, you should go to Ijebu. This one hasn't gotten to Ilorin. If you come to a so place, everybody has tried to talk about their own, how powerful their own juju was. So the guy now started with, I am coming to come and see you put that juju into action in my presence. Sure you get. And if it works, I'll give you 500,000. I was like monetary stuff, like challenge. Look at this one. Man, when I was 17, I saw one woman. They swear for her like the woman turned mad in my presence. I have seen people that they have said, yeah. I say, shut up your mouth. Can you show us about like Joko? This guy started going to supposed shrines, inside Alpha Ilekeu's house on this social media. You know the places that normally, if they tell you, say, that one a Babalawo also, that place na Juju man also, don't go there. That man, if you use just collect your wife, if you use just change your destiny, you see that man where they there, and he killed the people where they so you know that kind of childhood stories like that. This guy started going to their houses and they were asking them to come and do something. Come and see drama. Me, I did there. I was like, this guy shouldn't go to Ijebu. This guy shouldn't go to Ijebu. This guy went to Ijebu. And he didn't just go to Ijebu. He went to Ijebu Igbo, my father's hometown. And everything I have heard about Ijebu Igbo. Hey, Ijebu Igbo. They went with cameras, everything. But nothing happened. And you know what happened after? Some people are like, the reason why they didn't do anything to you is because they can tell. They can tell that you are only coming to try them. You know what I mean? That's why it didn't work. And all of that stuff, superstitious stuff like that. The other day, I was on this same Twitter. And from nowhere, somebody said, they don't born anybody well to hold a mirror and go to a certain market in Lagos. So if you hold the mirror and you bend your head down and you look back, they said if anybody who tried it, they usually die. Superstitious. Come and see educated people. Giving so many credence to this. And I know that. It happened to one sister in my area. She tried it. I remember that time. She died. The other one where I saw, when she tried it, she ran mad. She's still mad today. When I go, see, I'll take a picture when I pass through that market next week. She's been mad now for the past 18 years. She tried that mirror. She did like this. Different stories. I mean, I was there. I was like, Nigerians, look at them. Educated people. Supposed anyway. Some will write different story. Some will do this and that. And before you know it, social media, our more TikTok, I started seeing videos of people going to different markets in Lagos. They want to see that devil. They want to see that thing that they will see if they bend their head. They were doing it. They are showing the video. Guess what happened? The people who said if you try to, you just die. I pity your mom. I pity your parents. Don't go and try this. If you don't go and try this in Benin market, if you go Benin market, you go try this in you don't go be that to me. I have seen it happen in my very eyes. He didn't see anything. Somebody told him, and they scared him all his life. They scared you all your life. Things you never saw, things you never witnessed. Just what somebody said. Somebody said, your parent, my parent. I grew up in that world, by the way, so I know what I'm talking about. I know better now. It doesn't mean I'm not saying there's no deal so that I don't go make you feel bad. But I'm trying to tell you that the era when all those faboos, all those big empty mouth nonsense, mysterious nonsense, the power of this and that, our baba, our kinikon, our agba nonsense that you always kind of brag about, they are mostly things that were told from generation to generation to keep us under control. And social media is exposing that. Here you get. We used to have royal fathers that were called kings. Yeah? Oba baluri ongboni. You know what that means in Yoruba? When they say Oba baluri everything. That is, a king is over everyone. Everybody say, if your paramount ruler misbehave, now the local government chairman go take in crown, drink beer in his own office, and nothing go happen. Nothing, not that go happen. But you know, typical Nigerians, Don't try that with Tinubu. Nobody can try that with Olu of Iwari. Nobody can try that with Olu of Umushin. Nobody can try that with Emir of Benue. Let me tell you something. You see that thing, you cannot try it with Oba of Benin. Social media will always remind you, we are no longer in 1930s or 1800 anymore. And some of you need to begin to kind of come to that reality. And that's why they say, too much exposure on social media these days. There's so much, There's not any secret at all. Because they want to keep us misinformed, scared of things we can't see for years. So social media has become a big threat. That's why they say some of us don't get respect. Because you can't know the truth and still want to live the lie. I'm living fear. Okay? Now local government go remove your Oba. Mayegu don't try that. Nobody can try that with Sheng Bowiri. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm just trying to remind you that it may be very difficult for a lot of you to kind of take that change. But the reality is what is the reality. Okay? Why am I saying all of this to you? If there's something you are yet to see, either happening or you have a clearer understanding of, and somehow they are so opposed to what you have believed for so long. There's nothing wrong for you to begin to see that. Why am I saying all of this? There was a day, we were on and I think some of you have said that here too. And I'm not taking it on you. I'm not kind of using it against you. I just want you to sit down there and think about all I have said about the world we have today. If there is this world they painted for you, and you still believe in them, whether not the juju in your village, or whether not that that deity in your community, or whether not that dibia, I've been at that pastor, I've been at that imam, or anybody where they kind of make that kind of fearful presence in your area, I will advise you that you will need to see the world beyond those people. Okay? And social media gives you that opportunity. So there was a day we were talking. Like I said, this is not to take a dig at you. And if you see him as a dig, what you go do? Beat me? You dey mad? Anyway, so what happened was that that day we were talking about the uselessness of the royal fathers in Nigeria, especially those ones from southern Nigeria. The ones that love to kind of present themselves as if to say they're actually kings. And I remember a time that we said there is no king in Nigeria anymore. They are all political kings. Political kings. But you see, me, I am from Ijebu. Awujale is meant to be the paramount ruler of the Ijebu kingdom. I know Awujale, a politician all his life, okay? The underdevelopment of Ijebu Ode, is not behind him. And you know that Awujale, you know, if somebody like me now say that, are you not supposed to be Ijebu? You cannot say that publicly, The Awujale is our father, is our descendant as a Koshidan. When time is right for you, we say it to yourselves. So we agreed. Then we said, but you know why? With evidence in you. They said that any small thing like this, they are mostly political obas, contractors. Here you get. So what other value? What can they say? Why can they stand up against those who they are looking for contract from, or those who are actually paying their stipends? No. You can never try that with Oba of Benin. The Oba of Benin will not take any nonsense from any politician. They cannot nonsense. The Oba of Benin cannot even leave his palace to go and see anybody. Say, down by. It is still like Nigeria. If there is any of those things they wrote in your history book that you are still believing, they are good as much as you don't want to find out. So what happened? This social media, you know what that means? Social media exploded today. And in fact, I think the whole rage is even mixed. You remember when we saw that Ooni of Ife that was twerking for Buhari, any small thing, you don't go there, go twerk. Obi of Onitsha, any small thing, in don't go there, go twerk for Buhari. You see, and I saw these people, Sultan of Jokoto, any small thing like this, they go command the rapper for body, they come the twerk for Buhari. It was like a regular, all of them, they are like that. And we know them, you know. Oh, Edo people, very proud people. They are like, our Oba will never try. I say, no, they beat your chest for any of this. No, Mayegun. For this, for our Bini, if anybody say anything about our Oba, if Oba say anything, wait till see, your Oba go rise, he go waka, he go kill. When it comes to this, your Nigeria, all those things where you read inside your tail book, enjoy your mo. That's why I say I'm not taking a dig at you. At the Kabi Abi Oba Nedo, Oba Okpolo. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, so it doesn't mean to get you upset. But see this person, with Kolu today, inside the ass old rock, Kabi is to stand up to greet Kolu. But he's the president. Oh, so you know that now. You know that somebody is bigger than any Oba in Nigeria, the way they structure Nigeria. Maybe you should begin to actually reason that way and say, well, that's not right. Is it right? Zingo, right. Welcome to your Nigeria, or welcome to your reality, or maybe your denier. Stand up. It's coming. The criminals in Nigeria, they have rubbished your traditional institutions in Nigeria, and that has turned those who parade themselves as your custodian of your tradition, whatever. They are just 2Gs. When they tell them to twerk, they will twerk. If they tell them to jump, now how high, they will ask. It doesn't matter who is there. Like I said, it's not to take a dig at it, it's just to remind you that some things we call sacred. Back in the days, Ooni of Ife. Sure, you know who Ooni of Ife was. That title. It be like somebody will be say, from the ancient time, anybody who was Ooni of Ife, Ooni Risha, it's like somebody who is so close to the gods that he sees gods every time that ordinary people cannot see his eyes. No. Me and you, we can't see its face. You won't die, Ooni. You know they come out for palace, nothing. You know they come out. Olojo Day, during the Olojo Day, the Isheshe festival, it will come out dressed. Dressed like that with this white, you know what I mean? And his face covered. You can't see Ooni of Ife's face. Nobody had the picture of Ooni of Ife until Adesoji Aderemi. Or maybe. Because you can't really see his face. That was something ancient, traditional. Maybe you know Ooni of Ife or Ooni Shijuade. contractor, Abacha's friend. Abi? He was happy to go to war in a way that Modakeke Ife, it was like, the battle of supremacy. Shijuade and the Oba of Modakeke. And they were supplying guns. And, that was Oni. Shijuade. Very rich, notorious, and all that. But still, it still sort of exhumes some class. It wasn't always available. You don't see him anyhow. But Oni, our Oni, this current Oni Ogunwusi, it will tell you he's now Oni of 21st century. Sure you get? Oni of 21st century shouldn't be scary. It should be, he loves that. That's how he's doing his own Oni. But that's not how Oni was. You can't see him anywhere. So me, I can't talk now, say, if Buhari say he's mad, we just tell Oni to go and see him. What thing Oni go do if he see Buhari? If Tinubu think is crazy, we just send Obi of Onitsha. Who be Obi of Onitsha? We send Oba of Benin to go. Who be Oba of Benin? They've relegated all of them to ceremonial roles just to continue to kind of make it look like they are part of that. Well, they are part of that system, but they are just ceremonial. You know that? So social media will let you understand things as they are. Oluwofi, that one a emir. You know that one a mentor, Shoko. Because sometimes, you see, message sometimes you intend to say something, and it backfires. When I say something about Oluwos now, there are some Iwo people here that will personally take offense, and they'll just shock you and say, well, we really know loco bawa. That one smoked Cubana. I be waiting there, they call that thing where they talk say na latrine smell plus laughing gas, and then what do you call it? Evostic gum. Smoke everything, did everything, and he woke up, he started acting like a madman. And he declared himself as Oluwo. He declared the Wo Kingdom as Emirates. So that one you go send him and go talk to government and say you don't send an Oba. Would you go there and say you are sending an Oba? Oluwo of Iwo. Abi Emir of Iwo. So because of that, a lot of them just resulted into Omonile, land grabber. Our Oni of Ifegon is pointed at multi-billion naira land scam or Oni of Ife. So now that one you want go send me go talk to politicians on behalf of Yoruba. Where they could tell us me jump. You come the question and say, why would you say make a jump? If you no go question, go ask them, how I? So I'm trying to give you the background of all these guys, that they are, or some of you see covers with the normal tradition, this and that. These guys have desecrated all of that. And every time you are trying to say, no, it's still very much, the more you try, the more they will go, they fall your hand. I have seen it happen many times. Here you get. It was in 2000 and, let me remember this very well. It was in 2011. Okay. I was still in Odogbolu then. And Benga Daniel. Sorry, it was in 2010. Benga Daniel was still governor. So they were going to do an election in 2011 election. So Benga Daniel, right, had his own candidates, Boyega Isiaka, okay, that he wanted to succeed him. Then Amosun, who is contesting under ACN, okay, from ANPP. So that clash put so much tension in Ogun State around that time, okay. But there are some kind of scenarios that I became so privy to at that very period in time, because, well, I was Mayegun. I mean, I wasn't Mayegun. I was a very vocal person in my community. And I had a friend who wanted to be councillor. So he was visiting my local government. I ended up being drafted among those who are going to be kind of closer to the guests to my local government, the leadership of the party in my local government, to Dogbolu. So I was drafted in there. So I was at that meeting, or partly towards the end of the meeting. That's what I want to share, what I want to share with you now. Now, the tension was about election. And Odogbolu local government, very much underdeveloped. So Benga played a trick then, okay? What he did was that we didn't know, right? Benga Daniel abrogated the local government allocations of Odogbolu local government in the name of joint account, between the states and the local government areas. So it was a trick. So Benga Daniel created a joint account for the local government, for the 20 local governments in Ogun State and the state government, that all of the allocations coming from Abuja will go straight into that account. Local government money, state money. Now they will now join them together and they will reshare the money towards development of the state through the local government areas. So all of the local government chairmen at the time, which were G, they signed up. So when it was rounding up, and it was so power drunk at the time, okay, that was when this tension I'm talking about, and what happened thereafter, I'm about to tell you, happened. So Benga Daniel was campaigning for Gboyega Isiaka to be governor, okay, and at the same time, it was at the same time, going on a thank you tour. That, he is the governor outgoing. So he will come and campaign for his successor. And then they will say, thank you for voting for me for 8 years. So what Benga was using using local government money to do then was that Benga will bring in road grader. They will come and grade the main road to your community in anticipation like they are going to tar the road and fix the road. They are not going to tar it, okay? But on paper, on Benga Daniel's table, you see those roads they are grading, they have already been completed. In fact, these were like a project that are assigned to some PDP people in those local government, in my local government. For example, if they grade my road here now, so to me, I'll be like, oh, they're about to fix this road. They are grading our road. We are waiting for them to come and fix it. But on paper, they will say Chief Badero Mayegun is awarded Mayegun Street, and it cost 60 million naira to fix. And Chief Mayegun Badero has been paid the fixing of that road. So to us, we are still waiting for the road to be fixed. We don't know what happened, Abi. So when Benga Daniel got to Odogbolu local government for his campaign in 2010, then, right? For this campaign, then when they rounded it up, they met at one of his commissioner's house in Odogbolu. That one came in and he became a commissioner. And within a space of 3 months, he built this massive mansion that we could actually see and people could meet and do, political meetings. Now, what happened? Benga Daniel was in the room. They've done all the campaigns, all the tour of the local government, all of them political leaders and all of them from local government. Benga Daniel and his own people, they were inside this guy's house in Odogbolu. So I was there, like one of those angry crowd, and they started talking, right? There was this man called Jide Awosedo. He's dead now. He was a reverend. So Benga said, look at everybody that is now acting, hating me. A lot of people who are against me today. That was in 2010. Benga Daniel, in that room, he was like, look at all these people who are against me today. A lot of them make so much money from my government. Look at Jide Awosedo. Look at Reverend. I used the state government as a collateral to collect over 25 billion naira for this Reverend. He said he wanted to build Goshen estates in Ogun State, cheap houses and all of that, okay? I used the state government as collateral to give him that contract, and the bank gave him the full cash, 25 billion naira to mobilize him. Immediately, Awosedo collected the money. He started printing posters that he wants to be governor to succeed Benga Daniel. The money that was meant to be used for contract, Awosedo started spending it. That was what Benga said. And he said, I won't forget this. He said, we were in Ijebu earlier today, that he saw the roads in Ijebu and he nearly cried that his government is coming to an end. The roads he constructed in Ijebu, they are gone, swept off, as in washed off. That could anybody believe that all of the road contracts in Ijebu, since he became governor, were awarded to the Awujale of Ijebu land, Obasikiru Adetono, that Awujale, that old man. Everybody in that room was like, yeah, yes. That he can now go out and arrest Awujale for doing a shoddy job, fake job, and getting paid for it. I won't forget this. I was so young. I will never forget this. I was in that room. I was like, oh my God. He was complaining bitterly how people betrayed him. That today people are saying that he didn't do anything or he did fake projects, he did this and that. He was lamenting. And I was like, wow. I will never forget this. And truly, go to Ijebu. Since Benga the next time. Almost soon, that one no even touch anybody, no even come to anybody at all. Ijebu. He no come to us at all. It was Benga Daniel who said that all these road projects in Ijebu, in his own vicinity, the king of a town, of a kingdom, what did they do? So I have the picture of how these guys are just temporary, or should I say, pretentious custodian of our custom, tradition, and then they can cover our eyes with all this myth of arobafin lobanpa. Ẹni tó bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó bá ṣì di àgbàlagbà wò, ọmọlẹ́yìn á ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ fún. Anybody who want to grow old will not collect the walking stick from an elder. Anybody want all those things they say to you. You see, if all these people, if they can say they can turn day to night, they can turn night. Baba, they turn to night. We now know better. It is called solar eclipse. Sure, you get that's the only thing that turns day to night. Solar eclipse. You can sit down here now, 12 or 10 a.m. in the morning, or 12 noon, or some gori. Day will turn to dark in a few minutes, and it will turn to light again. Those Baba cannot turn anything to dark or night. But we found out later that, look at that story I just shared with you now. I was a little boy. If I should fast backward, I'm going to say, 2010. This is 2023, 13 years ago. Takes 13 years out of my age. I was just about 26 years old boy. And I just shook it like, And I remember that actually got me in an altercation with the local government chairman. That's another story. I've shared this before as well. Where young people, will see a chance to make a difference as a chance to enrich themselves. I never had that urge. Never had it. So I just didn't know why they didn't arrest me or torture me. If I was still in Nigeria, I don't know, maybe they won't kind of still touch me because nobody could touch me that time too. I had this confrontation with the local government chairman because of what I shared on social media, on Facebook. Chairman of it talk say, na me. Baba, na me. Chairman call meeting, National Youth Council. I was their PRO. Sure you get. Then called me, say, one of you wrote something on social media criticizing our government. The one who is chairman, vice chairman, general secretary, the rest of them, they want to speak English. No, it's impossible, sir. We are in support of this government. We are the Youth Council. We are they are looking for, they are doing Ojuaye. Me, where I don't post for Facebook, say, this one's this one are doing party government here. These ones are thieves, hungry people that are taking it. I mean, it's like a chance when you drop a rat inside the bag of rice. Saying go say, they have no idea of what they are doing. That's what I posted on social media, Facebook. And they called an emergency meeting. Yeah, we come inside. Or if not today, now police go there outside or DSS. Abi, they would just say, before that, they would have threatened me. All these liverless or, lily-livered cowards today who are just keypad warriors. I was there. Said, one of you wrote something and criticized. You cannot be, if you want to be part of this government and support our government, ACN, you cannot be criticizing us. They say you people are kiniko. All those want to speak English. No, sir, it's impossible, sir. We can never, nobody can try that, sir. I guarantee you. I have the evidence here. So Jero, what did I write? Or what did I post that is a lie? If I look back today, I'm like, what in Nomiju? If not today, we are still dead that time. We are not getting anything, nothing. Sure, you get. It could easily just call and say, yeah, throw him and go and torture him. Like those power drunk criminals you have today. More chairman sit down here, me I sit down there. I say, now me write time now, now me post that thing. PRO. Well, what is that thing? I say, see, chairman, it is that same post I told you. So why is everybody pretending like, see, they don't know? All of you know waiting this man they talk. You know what the chairman is talking about. It's me. My chairman was like, I was like, what are you going to do? It's me. A minimal call. Yeah, it's me. And it was like, any small thing we do now, they will say we are misusing power. This is why I don't want to have anything to do with all of you. Anybody that is going to be criticizing us, we cannot have you in around us. They started begging him. I said, everybody get out of my office. Get out of my office. I said, is that it? More at the year chicken. They share chicken that Christmas. They don't give me. Me, personally, they say, PRO, they don't count you. Say, but I'm a PRO. They give National Youth Council. I suppose collect chicken. I suppose collect rice. They say, me will not give you. I'm serious, so true life story. Those who are watching me from Odogbolu and those who actually know those back in the days, I've always been like that. But I know it's either they would have killed me, jailed me, or banned me to begin to praise them. You know, nothing with poverty, no do. If poverty holds you, you begin to do things that you would never believe you would do in your life. I was broke. I was poor. I wasn't hopeless or worthless. None of those really worked on me. Or maybe because I didn't stay in it for long before I decided to kind of get away. If I had stayed longer, my story may be a different one. You may even know me as somebody different today. A vuvuzela. I may have become a commissioner because I'm very smart. No doubt. I'm very smart and I know my way around these guys. Sure you get. So I would have probably become a political commissioner. I would have the senator. I'm that smart. But before you become a senator, you have to be a vuvuzela, praise singer, ass licker, so that they can do the Tinubu for you. Yeah, they'll be pushing you and say, "I'm a lawyer gone. I'm a lawyer gone. Select him House of Assembly." And you know, once they make me House of Assembly member, give me 1, 2, 3 cars. I don't build one house. Big man, small money. I go they push, to be House of Rep, senator, even governor. You don't know. You know who is called? Who is Adeola Yayi? If you know the story of Adeola Yayi, you will realize that if you are crooked, you could become a multi-billionaire even before you become a governor. Like, go and read about him. So I was that close to them, but I wasn't their friend. So that would have been the alternative of my own story. They would have known me as somebody who they talk the truth, but where they wear one trouser. Sure you get. We man pariwo ni ko need you trouser meji yen lo. I have known him for the past 20 years. That's why he's always screaming. Now he's a member of NLC. Maybe I would have joined NLC. Or I would have joined one of these just to make myself feel like I'm contributing to the society. But I'm not corrupt. I can never take corrupt. You know what I mean? I would have been a useless person anyway. But thank God, I rewrite my own story and to what you are witnessing today. So I know these guys very well. If I say I know them, it might have been a while, but I know them very well. So if I come back and tell you their intention is not pure, you will always be their victims. Now, if they make you promises and you believe them, or they say things that they will never do, and I tell you they won't, and you don't believe me, I'm always going to be here as a reminder, kind of, like I did tell you. Sorry, I do that sometimes, just rant on, talk randomly, and then bring everything to a close, like, how do you do? I was going to take calls when people can tell me how 8,000 naira is too small or it's too much and all that. I feel like I'm going to shift that to tomorrow. We'll take calls tomorrow where we can have a chat, because if not, tonight all of you are going to just be like talking, laughing and all that, right? So thank you so much for spending your evening with me. I have done my part. If you're just joining us, please, you can watch this from the start. And if you have been with me all night, thank you. Okay? You can still like the broadcast. Like it, share it, even subscribe. So that when I see you next time, it's going to be another conversation. Entirely. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Mayegun dayari politico.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Presido bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.